brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people do work that they love, build wealth, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and host of the ever-popular Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Spencer is in Memphis to start this hour. Hey, Spencer, what's up?
Hey, I am calling because I have gotten myself into quite a bit of debt over the past about 5 years, and it's come down to I'm debating if declaring bankruptcy would be one of my options.
Wow.
I want to avoid it at all costs, but I don't know what else to do at this point.
Pretty scary, dude. You married?
Not anymore.
How long you been split?
About 3.5 years now.
Money play a part in that?
It did.
I'm sorry. How old are you?
I am 24.
Wow. So how much debt have you got?
It started about 4 years ago, and I got it's about $23,000 worth right now.
$23,000 in debt. On what?
I had 2 vehicles, and then I got a $3,000 personal loan, 3 credit cards that were only like $500 a piece, and then I had a military star credit card as well that went into collections.
So how much of the $23,000 is the credit cards?
Maybe $1,500, maybe $1,000.
Oh, okay. How much do you currently own 2 cars?
I do not, and that's the problem. I lost just about everything during the divorce, but I ended up keeping the debt for it.
So wait a minute. She's driving both of the cars?
No, it's kind of a long story. Long story short, whenever I went through the divorce, she took one of the vehicles, and she had it for about 2 years, refused to sign divorce papers. I couldn't file the car as stolen because she was my wife. She would never pay on it, so I ended up not paying for it at all. They couldn't repossess it because they didn't know where it was. And then, so that was one car I didn't have.
Where is that car today?
Go ahead. It finally got repossessed, but now I still owe $9,000 left.
Okay,
on
so you have a repo of $9,000. All right, where's the other car?
The other one, as I got it, I never turned in the title to it to the bank, so I believe it turned into a personal loan or a vehicle loan with no collateral. That one was for $6,000.
Where is that car?
Technically, I do have a car to show for that. I have a 2008 Yukon and a...
Okay, so it didn't have a lien on it, and you sold it and bought a Yukon.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And what's your Yukon worth?
Maybe $5,000. I could probably get $5,000 for it.
Okay. And it doesn't have a lien on it?
No, it does not. I have the title.
Okay. And what do you make?
I just got a new job making $58 a year.
Okay. All right. You're not bankrupt. You're scared and you're hurting.
Correct.
But you're mathematically not bankrupt. Hear me.
No, sir.
I've been doing this a long time. You just don't know what to do next. That's all.
Correct.
Okay. You're hurting because all this stuff was out of your control. The divorce broke your heart, and you've just kind of swept stuff under the rug, and now you got a really lumpy rug.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this stuff has a high rate of resurrection. It comes back to life. Zombie money problems. Yeah, they don't die. They just keep coming out of the grave, and they're uglier every time they come out until you shoot them. Okay. Now, so here's the thing. If you file Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you can clear every bit of this, and you'll keep your Yukon under current law in the state of Tennessee, and you live in Memphis, okay? So that is possible. I would not recommend it, though. You can settle repo debt for somewhere around 15 to 20 cents on the dollar, and a lot of your debt is repo debt. So if we're looking at $20,000, $4 or $5 will clear that with some negotiation and some fight. Okay. But you got to call them up. Like the 9,000, they'll probably take $1,000, $1,500, maybe $2,000 and clear that on the ex-wife's car that you never really figured out, whatever, all that stuff, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you call those people, it's not $9,000, it's $2,000, because that's about what you can settle it for. Because they're just going to be so happy somebody called. Because they can't find nobody in this story. They're everybody. Even the freaking car disappeared in this story, right? So, yeah. And so if you don't pay anyone and file bankruptcy, you could do the same thing and just not pay anyone and not file. Then the only thing that could happen is they could come and sue you. Okay? But none of them have yet. None of them have yet.
Yes, not yet, correct.
Okay.
I have a court hearing in July for... I got a set of rims and tires after I got out of the military, and I honestly never paid on it.
Okay. So here's the thing. Can I be mean to you for just a second in the middle of all your pain?
Please do. I need to hear it. Please do.
You got to quit buying crap that you don't have money for. Period.
Absolutely.
Period. And, okay, like, I mean, rims and tires sounds like a 16-year-old.
Absolutely.
Okay. But that's kind of what you are when you're coming out of the military for the first,
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, let's throw our shoulders back and start acting like we're 30 or 40 with our maturity level on our decisions, rather than a wounded 24-year-old guy who's had the snot beat out of him. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I think you can do that, and we'll help you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign a Ramsey counselor to you for free. And they're going to walk you through step by step how to clear every one of these debts. It's going to take you about, maybe a year to clear them all and to negotiate. And you're going to have to be tough, and you're going to have to quit buying crap. Okay? Can you do those two things if I help you?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I'm saying is $23,000, we can probably get all that cleared for somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 or 12, and you make 50. You can do that in a year, but you're going to have to scratch and argue with these people a little bit and get it done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so if you file bankruptcy when you could have cleared it for $12,000, that'd be just silly.
I would agree with that 100%. That's why I needed somebody to tell me.
All right. So you're a good man, Spencer. You've just been hurting.
Does that give you peace, Spencer? Does that give you some grit?
It did. That helped a lot. It did. Because I felt like I was on the edge of the walkboard for quite a while now.
She beat you up pretty good?
Yeah, it wasn't nice.
Is there a little one involved too?
Not with at the time. I do have one now. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're 24 right now?
Correct.
All right. When you get done with here, I want you to write 30-year-old Spencer a letter about the man you are going to be when you're 30. No more kids unless you're married. No more borrowing money. No more buying stupid things so you can look cool to 18-year-olds. I want you to write 30-year-old Spencer a letter, and I want you to live into that. Got it?
I can do that.
Cool, man. Hey, I was 28 when I filed bankruptcy. I'm 63 now, and I'm a multimillionaire. You're going to be okay, son. Hold on. We'll pick up and get you dialed in. This is The Ramsey Show. You know, it doesn't take a degree in statistics to realize that this one stinks. 93% of undergraduate private student loans are co-signed. So when you're delinquent and drowning in private student loan debt, Mom or Dad or Uncle Joe is stuck in that financial stress along with you. But there is a way out. Why Refi? Why Refi offers a custom refinancing option with a fixed rate loan based on your ability to pay. And the average interest rate Why Refi offers is 3.9%, which can significantly reduce your monthly payment and decrease your total cost. Why Refi refinances your defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch. And I trust them to help you get out of debt. So don't be another statistic in the student loan swamp. Contact YRefi at 844-2RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. That's 844-2RAMSEY or the letter Y, then REFY.com/Ramsey. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Dr. John Deloney is my co-host today. John, I love the suggestion as we're going into the break with the young guy to write him his future self a letter. I kind of almost feel like we all ought to do that. Like there's something about what do you want to be when you grow up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Who do you want to be?
I just keep going back to that conversation that was such a before and after that I had with my wife when she asked, like, what do you want this house to feel like when you walk in from work? And I was like, well, I want it to feel warm, and I want us to be laughing when I walk in, not both of us be so tense. And then that started a conversation. Well, then here's what's got to be different. And I just wonder, what do I want it to feel like when I'm 40? What do I feel like when I'm 60? What do I want my relationship with my kids to be like? And what do I have to do right now to live into that? That's so different than let's just get to the next day and the next day and the next day, and you wake up and you're 100 miles from your original destination. I just love that idea of sitting down and being intentional. Where do I want to be, man?
Yeah, because you just don't...
Or more important, who do I want to be, right?
You don't accidentally become good things.
No.
You accidentally become bad things.
And life happens, and I get really mad, and I start to spin and make a decision.
I don't ever do
You've
that.
never done this, but I find myself way over here. And it's just, I like the idea of 55-year-old John going, whoa, 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 whoa. Like letting him be a little bit of a guide for me, right?
Yep, absolutely. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Aaron is in North Carolina. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dave. Thank you and John so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my wife and I just bought a house, and I'm feeling a little buyer's remorse, and I just wanted to get y'all's take on our financial situation to see if there's some validity in what I'm feeling, or if it's just, I'm just in my head on it. I'll give you just a rough kind of breakdown of our financial.
Well, before you do that, just tell me what the house payment is.
$3,700.
Okay, and what's your take-home pay in the house?
$180 a year, roughly $9,500 to $10,000 per month.
No, it's not. Something's wrong. I'm talking about take-home after taxes. 180 is not 10,000. 10,000 is 120. You don't have $60,000 worth of taxes on 180. You don't.
Well, no. Okay. So are you taking out 401k and all that?
No, I'm not. Taxes only.
Oh, taxes only. I don't know the number off the top of my
so
head.
it's probably okay. So how much are you putting into your 401k?
Currently I'm 10%, and my wife is 10%.
Okay. All right. So that's 18,000. So that makes sense then. All right, because your take-home pay, not counting your 401k, would be more like 14. Okay, something like that.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
401k, health insurance, whatever else the crap's coming out of there, because something's coming out of there. But that's what it ought to be, because 180 is 15 a month.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you'd be at 13, and 3,700 is not out of line then. That's my point. I had to get to real take-home pay before I sold your house, and now we don't have to sell your house, so that's good. So.
Well, my wife will enjoy that.
So you're the saver and she's the spender. You're the nerd and she's the free spirit.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And you feel like you caved and bought something you can't afford.
Well, we're good on the house. The only debt that we have in our names is a car, and my biggest stress right now is, I have $85,000 in the bank.
The car, I owe $39 on my car.
Write a check and pay it off today.
Okay. I was going to go sell it and buy a beater. Just didn't know if it was smart to just.
Well, you can still sell it later and buy a beater if you want to, but for today, let's get rid of the stress.
Okay. All right.
And you guys are not doing a written monthly budget called EveryDollar on the EveryDollar app, where both of you agree on every dollar before the month begins, where it's going and what its name is. And if you'll start doing that, you'll feel much more in control.
Okay.
It'll give you a lot of peace. It may cause some fights because it may expose what some people in the house are spending, and it's not you.
Yeah. Yes, you're correct. And we did do the EveryDollar app, and we're able to save around $2,200 a month. But for some reason, that just seems low. And I got on Reddit, which I shouldn't have done. And everybody was like, "Oh, your house poor," and I just started freaking out.
Now, listen, Reddit is not a source of anything except trouble.
No, Reddit is for if you're feeling exceptionally well and you're like, you know what I need in my life? A little depression. Then you should read Reddit. Other than that,
if you get a medical diagnosis, if you go to Reddit, you're dead by morning.
The only thing that will kill you faster is WebMD. They'll kill you. They'll kill you within the hour.
Okay.
So seriously, you're right. So
position.
Daniel, what you guys need to do is you need to get above this and think about your source of information. And we are making fun of Reddit, but it's not a good source, okay? And because the numbers you're giving me, nothing's out of control. I think what I'm hearing is a good guy who's a nerd, who's very responsible, like me. I'm a nerd. And your wife has not let up on the spending. You all are not in agreement. You've been kind of swinging at this whole money thing instead of actually making it dance, getting it in line and making every dollar dance, and both of you being in agreement, paying off the car, and then I think you're going to have a lot of peace. The numbers you're giving me are not stupid. If they were, I'd tell you.
Yes, sir.
Aaron, can I ask you a few other peripheral questions?
Yes, sir.
You got any friends
Oh, yeah.
that you go hang out with once a week?
Yes.
What's the state of your health?
What's the state of my health?
Yeah. You exercise? You go for walks every day?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, work out 6 days a week.
Okay.
Eat clean.
What's the state of your marriage?
Great. Really good. Really good. I think I just want to be a good dad. I want to be a good husband. I want to lead my family to wealth, and I didn't come from that, so I just strive for that.
Okay, there it is. There it is. Yeah, you don't want to screw this up, so you're walking a tightrope.
Yeah.
I get that.
Good man.
Good for you.
That's a good motivation as long as it doesn't take it so far you can't sleep at night.
That's right. I'm going to send you building a non-anxious life.
Or if it doesn't take you to Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to send you building a non-anxious life. I want you and your wife to go through that book together.
Yeah, and then you guys jump on EveryDollar, the app, and get it going too, and make sure you get this stuff dialed in, because I think you're there. I think if you get 100% alignment with her using the budgeting process called EveryDollar, that's going to, and you're probably 85 right now. Okay, if you get 100% control and command over the dollars, and you're probably 90% on that, okay, and you pay off the car, then you're gonna and you start doing the Ramsey stuff the rest of the way and quit ishing it. Then I think you're gonna find an immense flip from the. I think that little bit of lack of alignment and then this tremendous drive to be a good guy. Is where your disconnect is, your dissonance.
Yeah. And his body put a GPS pin in money worries. And so it's just, he's got a new big debt and he's got a kid and his body's sounding all the alarms. It's going back to those ratios. And you and I've talked about that offline. Those are just important things. I'm doing it right. Yep. We're safe. I'm doing good. I'm doubling up on my payments when I can. I'm taking overtime when I can. I'm getting this stuff done. And you slowly practice that.
Yeah. But when you do something that your inner voice, the Holy Spirit's telling you not to do, then don't be shocked that you're stressed.
Right, exactly.
So when you buy a house while you have a $39,000 car debt, and you knew you shouldn't, don't be shocked that it's upsetting.
Right. Or one step further, if your parents were screaming at each other growing up over their house payment, even if you put 50% down and you buy a house, Expect your body to feel a little tense. That's okay. I know that I have to outsource that because when I get emotional, I get real emotional, and I start making decisions fast. And I get a friend or two, or I get somebody that I trust to say, okay, I'm about to do something uncharacteristic. I'm about to sell my house we just bought. Is this wise?
Yep.
And then you can get some exhale in your life. And they'll go, no, I got your 6. You're doing good. It's helpful. It's what this show is, right?
Yeah. When things are when you do things that are inconsistent with what you believe, people in John's world call that dissonance. There's a disconnect. Your actions are perpendicular to your belief. 100% time you get stressed. So, George, we talk a lot about identity theft, and we take calls from people that do, but yours actually got stolen.
Well, don't say it with that much happiness, Dave. It's true.
Gosh.
I do not recommend it if you can avoid it at all costs. And that's when I was much younger. I had worse hair and a negative net worth. But I worked at Ramsey at the time, and so I was covered by Xander ID theft protection. So thanks, Dave, for covering all of us here.
Absolutely. Well, one thing, Xander helps us do that. So it's a great benefit for the team, but it's a great benefit for everybody because Jeff Xander and I have been working together for, 25 years. We've been doing stuff together since before there was an internet. And so when the internet came on and identity theft became this real serious problem, he and I started talking about it, and he went and figured out a way to build an identity theft protection for the Ramsey tribe. That's how the whole thing started at Xander. And it's the most complete because he customized it. He custom built it from the ground up. It's the most complete and cost-effective protection out there. It's the best identity theft out there.
Yeah, I was raised by the internet as a millennial, Dave, and it's scary knowing how many websites are out there with my information. So Xander ID theft, they bundle all the cyber tools I need to protect my identity. They've got VPN encryption, 24/7 customer and recovery services, and even home title monitoring. So even if your ID does get stolen, they help you, like they did me, by restoring your life back to normal with up to $2 million in protection for stolen funds, which is incredible.
That's a big deal. So, guys, you can't go without ID theft protection in today's world. It's just too much going on. There's too many people have already stolen your identity. It's out there floating around. You've got to have this full recovery protection. Xander is the best. So, Xander.com or call 800-356-4282 for the most complete identity theft protection out there. Xander.com, 800-356-4282. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Well, John, it's finally happened. My 35-year stellar career has been reduced to selling T-shirts.
Finally, we get some Ramsey cool gear, dude.
I thought I was an important author, and now I sell T-shirts. So we have Better Than I Deserve T-shirts.
Finally.
We have Food at Home is the T-shirt. That's a great T-shirt.
I got that one. That one cracked me
that
up.
says Better Than I Deserve. And some cool sweatshirts that say debt-free. I guess I should hold them up for you YouTube people. Yeah, because YouTube people need debt-free. Right there it is, right there. Okay. So model it, Dave. Model it. Come on, do your Vanna White, Dave. Come on, buddy. And I'm drinking out of my own Better Than I Deserve Yeti because God knows I didn't have enough Yetis. So I needed they breed like rabbits in my cabinet.
They breed.
They're everywhere. And then we got our version of the Stanley Cup thing over here, whatever that is. Is that?
To live like no one else.
Yeah, but it's the, what do they call it? What do the women call that thing? The
Stanley.
It is Stanley.
Yeah, that's the brand.
It's a Stanley Cup. I was thinking of hockey for a minute, but yeah.
My brother-in-law works on the railroad, and he's had a Stanley for 117 years, and his daughters were like, Dad, we want Stanley. And he goes like this, and they all went, oh.
He does. He's got the real green
Dad's
one.
way.
The real ones, yeah.
Dad's got it going on.
Made by Aladdin, I think it was, yeah. So anyway, you've been asking for the Ramsey merch, shirts, tumblers, hats, Better Than I Deserve hat, yep. T-shirts, Yetis, yep, you got them. We got Food at Home. can't believe that one's popular, but you're wearing that one, you said, huh?
Yeah, I like that one. Cracks me up.
Yeah, okay. So you've got a story the world needs to hear. You can kick off some conversations. I'm not crazy. I'm just getting out of debt, and it's kind of fun. And it's high quality. You know, the new soft kind of T-shirts, yeah, that all feel like pajamas now.
Yes.
Everything's, the old scratchy cotton T-shirts are kind of gone. These softy ones are, yeah. Well, it's fun. I'm glad we're doing it.
Listening to you sell clothes is one of the funniest, most awkward moments of my professional life.
I'm just saying it was. I'm going. Ramsey Solutions changed my life. I bought a hat from them. Oh yeah,
I will work so hard to get an underwear endorsement from somebody just so you have to pitch it.
Not a chance.
It's amazing.
Just so you have to pitch it. There we go. All right. RamseySolutions.com/store. Check out all the new merch.
It's awesome.
It is actually high quality merch. And I hope we're charging a lot for it because it's just embarrassing that we're doing it. So, anyway.
It's fantastic. Hey, for years, people have been showing up with their homemade, they make their own.
That's true.
This is good stuff.
That's not on me, though.
No.
This is on me.
Nah.
This
is
happened
good.
on my watch right here.
This is good. Well, it allows people to be we say it all the time, like we don't do big $400 million sponsorships, like word of mouth.
They can be a walking billboard for us.
They are like, they don't have to say anything if you got a little social awkwardness.
Just be drinking out of your Better Than I Deserve Yeti.
That's right.
There we go.
That's right.
Coffee, by the way.
Or wear your debt-free, because who at the mall doesn't want to know what your net worth is? That's important to just announce it.
I see. Put some sweet tea in the Yeti and go for a walk. There we go.
Yeah, that's what's in your sweet tea for sure.
Yeah. All right, Daniel's in Detroit. Hey, Daniel, what's up?
Hello. A lot of debt.
How can we help, sir?
Well, going to be having a baby soon, in like 2 months.
Yay!
And yeah, I've been fighting every month trying to get myself back on track. I fell behind on bills a few months ago, and I haven't gotten anywhere with it. I'm just over $200,000 in debt, and I'm trying to figure out what my best options are to get back ahead.
Oh. What kind of debt is the $200K, bro?
I've got $163,000 in a house. I've got 2 cars and about
how much on car 1?
Credit card.
How much on car 1?
$19,000.
How much on car 2?
$15,000.
Okay. All right.
That was co-signed on that one.
I'm sorry?
I said I co-signed on the second one, but
for who?
My wife.
Well,
So,
if you have a baby with somebody, you can buy a car with them too. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right, and so
yeah, y'all have made a human. You can share a checking account.
All right, and so that's 34. So you only got a little bit of mainly car debt and house debt, right? What's the other debt?
I've got $6,000 between credit cards and tools.
Yeah, tools. What do you do for a living?
Avionics tech.
Okay, and what's your household income, sir?
It's about $50,000 right now. For a while, it went way down. I had to drain my savings account and everything.
Why did it go down?
Going. The hours. I was lacking in hours at work. And then my wife, she ended up getting really sick for a little bit and was out of work. But she's finally back to work. But there's no savings account left to fall back on. So.
Okay. So between the two of you, both of you working, you make $50,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's back. She's only part-time right now.
Okay. Because I was under the impression avionics techs made more money than that.
Yeah, it may be higher. I'm just kind of giving you a rough estimate. Things are looking better, and I'm working more hours. I'm bringing in...
You work on airplanes, dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what are you making an hour?
30 an hour.
Okay. How many hours a week are you getting?
I'm finally back to about 40 right now, and I'm trying to push for 50 to 60.
Okay. You're making more than $50,000 a year. Okay. You're doing your math wrong. Okay.
Yeah, might be.
That's helpful. But between hours going down temporarily and her being sick and now a baby coming, the stress of all that, you've been out of control and all the money is in total chaos. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It
Okay.
seems like I'm just getting my paycheck and then it's completely gone, and we still don't have bills paid that we need to have paid.
What does she do for a living?
She's a hairstylist.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. Well, here's the thing that I know. I know that if the two of you sit down together tonight with the TV off after dinner, breathe, and start writing down what you've got coming in right now and what you could have coming in the future, you can see your way to getting these two straightened out. Whose car is the $19,000 car?
Mine.
Good. What is it worth?
I'm real upside down on that one. I was going to sell it not too long ago, and I checked into it, and it's blue booking at about $8,000 right now.
That'd be trade in. Yeah. Okay.
Trade in, they were saying $5,000.
What'd you do? Tear it up?
Did you roll a bunch of
No.
negative equity into it?
Nope, I did not.
What is it?
It's a Chevy Silverado, 2012.
Okay. Chevy Silverados do not get that far upside down without some other piece of circumstance involved. You've torn it up. There's extra miles, or you rolled negative equity from the deal before into it.
Nope, I didn't have a car loan before.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this a high interest rate loan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. $19,000 is not your payoff balance. $19,000 is the balance on the account. There's a difference.
Okay.
On a high interest subprime loan, they book it on TOP, total of payments. $19,000 is your total of payments. If you take a check over there today and pay them off, it's more like $15,000.
Okay.
So
That's
you need to
probably
call,
all right.
call them and ask them not what your account balance is, but what your payoff is today. So you're not nearly as upside down as you thought you were. So that I knew there's something wrong with that math. Okay, now so here's the prescription for this. The great news is you feel the pressure because you're a good dad, going to be a good dad of a baby coming, and that's going to make you guys sit down and get control of this and not spend any money except food, lights and water, shelter, and get caught up. And oddly enough, sir, you make enough to do all of those. It's very possible.
And don't count that mortgage in your debt right this second. Let's worry about those bills and those debts, and we'll get that stuff squared away.
First thing I want to do is be current and in control.
There you go.
And you're not that yet. Hey guys, here's a quick math refresher. There are only 24 hours in a day. So you and your team need to streamline time-consuming tasks to focus on the activities that actually make money. Smart businesses are realizing that to reduce headaches as they scale, they need NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one platform. With NetSuite, you reduce IT costs because NetSuite is cloud-based. You cut the cost of maintaining multiple systems because you've got one source of truth. And you improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, slashing manual tasks and errors. So join the 37,000 plus companies, including Ramsey Solutions, that have done the math and are boosting their efficiency with NetSuite. And right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to drive the right behaviors for your business absolutely free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey to get your free KPI checklist. Guys, thanks for joining us here on The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you like this show, we can always use your help. You are our only marketing plan, which is awesome, actually, because the best products in the world are spread by word of mouth. So click share on the if you're listening on a podcast or watching on YouTube or whatever, click the share button and let people know, or click the link, cut the link out and send it to somebody in your email and tell them to start listening to this show. Say, you got to check this out, got to check this out, got to check these guys out. And subscribe, that's a big one. And follow, that's a big one. Click those buttons and of course, leaving 5-star reviews. All of those things actually change the algorithm in these different platforms and causes them to promote us. And they do it for free because you are telling them we're awesome, because you're awesome. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. Lisa's in Portland, Oregon. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you. My husband passed away unexpectedly a couple months ago, and he was kind of in charge of all of our monies and stuff, and I'm going to get through this call without crying. So
no, you're not, because I'm not.
Yeah, you don't have to. You're good.
How old are you?
I'm 54, and we've been married for, next month would be 36 years.
What happened to him, hon?
He just went to sleep, I guess, and didn't wake up.
What was his name?
Troy.
Well, we can all be envious of that methodology, can't we?
Yeah.
yeah, that is one thing I'm at peace with.
Yeah.
He liked to be home, and here he was.
There it is, just like that. Wow,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So you got
You.
You got any babies at home?
I got 3 grown children that are all married.
Good. So it's you, and you said you're up in the air on the money stuff then, right?
Yeah. So he did set me up. I'll be okay, but I just don't know what to do with everything.
Okay.
And do I pay my house off with life insurance that I got?
How much life insurance did you get?
I have right now I have $500.
Mm-hmm. And what now?
And I think I'm
going
to end up with Then I'll have I think another 100,000, and then in monthly I think I added it up, and I think I should get at least 7,000 a month.
Mm-hmm. Boy, I love your husband.
I know, so do I.
Yeah, Troy did good.
What a great job, Troy.
We
well
did
played.
so bad when we were young. Yeah, he just said no way. We got to turn it around, so we did.
Yeah. Well, and he left you set with having no idea that he was going away at 50. That's pretty crazy. Yep. That's young.
Yep. Completely, I know.
Every day I live, that looks younger. Oh my gosh. All right. So you only owe on your home. What do you owe on it?
I owe $240.
Okay. And do you work?
I do not work.
Okay, but you got $7,000 a month coming in.
Mm-hmm.
For life? Where's that coming from?
That's going to be for life.
What's that from?
Military.
Wow.
And then he was he was a police officer.
This guy's a freaking...
And so I have that retirement too.
This dude's amazing, huh?
What a great guy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. So
the salt of the earth.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so let me play pretend. I'm just do you have any other debt?
I have 2 credit cards that are about $12,000.
Okay. All right.
And I own my cars though, so nothing else.
If you didn't have a car payment and you didn't have any credit card debt, I mean, you didn't have a house payment and you didn't have any credit card debt, I think you can make it on $7,000 a month, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Are you going to get on a written budget so you don't screw this up?
Yes.
Okay. Because people can screw this up.
Oh, I know.
Okay. So that's what's scaring you.
Yeah.
That's what's scaring you. This is all, Troy did such a good job and I don't want to mess it up. That's what's bothering you. Am I right?
Yes, it's totally it.
Good. Okay. That's a good motivation. I don't want you to live in the terror of that because I want to give you the information so you are doing it right. But if I had you on a detailed written budget monthly where you knew that you were easily living on $7,000, which you should easily do with no house payment.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
You cut up the stupid credit cards and never borrow money for anything ever again. Say, I promise, Dave.
I promise on that one,
right.
Dave.
So we're not going to have any debt, and we have a paid-for house, and we got $350,000 to invest, And we have $7,000 a month coming in. Am I missing something?
No.
That's
so
a pretty strong position. I think you and Troy did a good job.
Here's the one, Lisa. I'm going to inject a question here to you, but Dave, I'm asking it to you too. Lisa, is there a chance that in 6 months, when the smoke clears, you want to go live by some of your grandbabies?
No, I'm going to stay in the house. I have 3 grandbabies close to me here, and then I'm having a new one.
Great.
In Montana. So
okay, awesome. Normally, I'd tell somebody don't do anything for 6 months, don't pay off and just sit. But this is where you want to be. This is where your family is, where the little ones are. This is your home, right?
Oh yeah. I'll add to that question. Then I'll just go ahead and be real tacky. Okay. You said he died in his sleep in the home.
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to be okay living there then?
Yes.
Okay.
He's here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Have you gone through the clothes yet or anything?
Nope, it's staying forever.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to tell you, and you're not going to believe me, but I'm just going to tell you. That's about 98% of the people like you have had the blessing and honor to sit with the first couple of months out.
Yeah.
That's and it's all good. And there's no rush.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But in 9 months, 2 years, 4 years, we'll see, right? And that's not you don't solve for that right now.
Yeah. The longer it goes, the weirder it is. That you still got the clothes. Okay. Yeah. But today is fine. Exactly. Today's fine.
Yeah. Today's great. Today's
27 years from now, if those clothes are still hanging there, that's an issue, okay? Right. I'm just saying. But today you're fine. Yeah, just let it go. It's part of your grieving. Okay. Yeah, it's part of your grieving, and you're a strong lady.
There's some comfort.
Hey,
there.
And you did get through this without bawling. Good for you. And I almost did. I only had one little tear, but I cried at Applebee's commercials. So, okay.
Okay, can I ask you one more thing?
Uh-huh.
And this is not money related. I grew up in the home of a police officer too. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There is an extra layer of, and I still feel it. My dad's in his 70s and I'm in my mid 40s. And there's still a level of when I get around my dad, I just exhale because policemen walk around as though everything's going to be okay.
Yes, exactly.
I want you to make sure you have somebody to call because you're going to lean on a crutch that's not there anymore. He's in your heart, but he's not going to be there in that restaurant. He's not, and he would always sit up against the back of the room, and now you're going to, right? So he's got all those little things that you always had that extra layer of everything's going to be okay, and your body's going to feel that that's gone.
Because it is.
Okay.
Because it's gone, and I want you to have somebody you can reach out to.
Yeah. Are you in a good church, Lisa?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I've been doing this 35 years, and I've sat with people exactly where you are hundreds and hundreds of times, and you and I just went through the numbers, and everyone listened to us go through them. Your numbers are just fine. You're just fine. You were married to a wonderful man who did a wonderful job making sure you were going to be okay, and you are okay. I would pay off my house. I'd pay off my house, and I'd get on a written budget, and I'd pay off those credit cards, and I would cut them up. And I'm going to put you into Financial Peace University so you learn how to handle money, so you feel confident in this subject area going forward.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you sit with a Ramsey coach that's been trained by us at my expense. You're going to pay nothing for any of this, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because we're people of faith, and our book tells us to take care of orphans and widows. And we go by the book. Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, you hang on, and we'll have the team pick up in there and get you signed up for Financial Peace and get you with a coach. You're going to be fine, honey. You're in really good shape.
This is my dream, Dave.
Yeah. Hey, guys, here's the deal.
This is it.
She just told you what it means when you put life insurance in place, have a will in place, and have your pensions lined up and so forth to make sure that your family's taken care of. It's how you say I love you. Now, the rest of you that are listening to this, get your butt in gear and get over at Xander Insurance and make sure that you're Troy, because all of you ought to be Troy. This is The Ramsey Show. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, and author of a couple of #1 best-selling books, the latest, Building a Non-Anxious Life. He's my co-host. 888-825-5225. Auburn, Alabama. Ashton is calling. Hi, Ashton. What's up?
Hey, how are y'all?
Better than we deserve. How are y'all?
We're good. I'm so happy y'all took my question because we really need some help with this.
We'll give it a shot.
Okay, so me and my husband were 25, and a year ago we purchased a camper and a truck because the payments on that were going to be cheaper than what our apartment was going to be, which was going to be almost $3,400. And now we're stuck with a camper and truck, and we're going through baby steps, and we're trying to figure out if it's worth keeping to pay down until it's out of the upside down, or to sell and then pay on the upside down.
Do you still live in it?
No, we do not. My mom has a rental house that became available, so we live in the rental house now.
So the plan that it was cheaper was not executed.
Well,
Is this
yes,
not cheaper
because
if you didn't need? Now you just have a camper payment.
Yes, now we just have a camper payment, which we are renting it out currently as of like an Airbnb vacation, and it's paying for it, but we're worried when summer's over if it's not. I just don't want to have that what if it doesn't get paid for. So we
How much do you owe on the camper?
$115,000.
Good gosh.
Holy Jesus.
It's like an apartment on wheels. It has a washer and dryer, a king size bed. It's a massive fifth wheel.
What do you all make a year?
Last year together we made I think $145,000. I'm a hairstylist, and he at the time was a firefighter paramedic.
And y'all are 20? Did you say 24?
We were 24 at the time.
And they loaned you $115,000 on a camper.
On a depreciating
asset.
asset.
I don't know how that was possible because we couldn't get a house. No one would loan us a house or get us a mortgage for a house. With me being a hairstylist and my income fluctuating, wasn't a fixed income.
I love you, but you're
you're
the dumbest smart person I've talked to today.
I'm trembling to ask this question. Have you figured out what the actual value of the camper is today?
The actual value of the camper is $90,000.
And you owe 115?
Yes, $115.
So you're 25 in the hole.
But if you go to Camping World and they want to buy it back from you, they offered me $63,000.
I'm sure they did. And Camping World sold you this crap.
Yes, they did.
Okay, and now I know the news is going to get worse, but I have to just keep going. How much do we owe on the truck?
The truck is $50,000.
I'm laughing with you, not at you, Ashton.
No, I'm laughing at myself too because we had to get a truck.
And have you priced
the
truck's current value?
His trade-in value when we talked to a dealership was $42,000, I believe.
Okay, so you can get close to what it's worth if you private sell it, or close to what you owe if you private sell it, because trade-in value doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any money?
Saved up?
Like money, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the baby steps. We have the emergency fund saved up, and now we're just dumping extra money into credit cards.
You have $1,000. Okay.
Yes, right. And then we're just dumping all the extra money we have into credit cards to get them finished.
And how much do you have in credit card debt?
Total $7,000.
Okay, good. All right.
And then my car is $10,000.
Your car's what?
My car's $10,000.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. And I assume you've been so far paying everything on time, and so your credit's probably stellar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our credit's still good.
Good.
Thankfully, it's still very good.
Okay. The longer you wait to sell the camper, every day that you wait, the spread between what you owe and its value gets wider. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
The value is going down faster than the loan balance. Agreed?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So we don't want to delay. We want to sell the camper as soon as we possibly can sell it without giving it away to Camper World or whatever they're called. I don't want to go over there again, but at $63,000, no, we're not doing that. But if we can get 90 for it, or 89, or 92, or 85, the sucker's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So get it up for sale today. And then you're going to have to go to the credit union. Where's this loan? Is it Camping World gave you the loan too?
Yes, it's through Alliant Credit Union, I believe.
Of course it is, yeah. Yeah, of course it is. That's who makes loans like this. They're probably not going to be any help, but contact them and ask them if you can sign a note for the difference unsecured. Mm-hmm. So you sell it for 90, you owe 115, you're going to have a $25,000 note with Alliant if you did that. Yeah. Otherwise, you got to go to your credit union or your local bank and get them to loan you $25,000.
And do it like a personal loan?
Yep. All we're doing is reducing 115 to 25. That's a good move.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not a $1,000 payment like we're making now.
Exactly. And we're going to sell his truck as soon as we can get close to what is owed on it. So put it on Craigslist and put it on other stuff. And because, we can get a vehicle down closer to your vehicle that is doable. And of course, we're going to clear those credit cards. So now if you're making $145 and you owe $25 and you owe $10 on your truck and $7 on credit cards and a little bit on some kind of car we get for him or truck we get from him, like $10,000, we can clean that pretty quick. You could be out of debt.
Like we're already down $1,000 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you could be out of debt completely if you'd make those moves, sell his truck and the camper by the end of summer if they're gone at a reasonable price. And that way the hole's not too big on either one of them that you got to pay back. But you could be debt-free in 18 months.
That would be awesome.
But that's living on beans and rice and beans.
Yes.
No more pipe dreams.
Absolutely.
Because this was a pipe dream. Like drugs were in the pipe dream.
Yeah. We smoked this pipe dream.
But it sounds crazy to do a $3,400 apartment too. Like
I know you traded $30.
That compared to the truck and the camper, the $3,400 apartment is freaking lights out genius. Compared, yeah.
Or think about it this way. Ashton. At 34, it was you would have paid about $40,000 this year in rent in this apartment.
Yes.
You're hoping to sell this at a loss to minimize your loss to $25,000 to $30,000 to pay off.
Yeah. So there it is. You paid it anyway.
You paid it anyway. Yeah. You just didn't get to live in an awesome apartment.
Yeah. Instead, you were on an apartment on wheels from Camping World.
Dave, it's so great. I can feel you try not to laugh right next to me.
I'm just
$200,000
as
depreciating.
They say in Auburn, assets. Alabama. Bless your heart. Bless you. This is the Ramsey Show. You've been gazelle intense, you've eaten more beans and rice than you knew existed, and now you're ready to make your biggest investment better. Blinds.com is a great way to dress up a room or your entire home. Whether you're comfortable with do-it-yourself projects or you don't even know what a Phillips head screwdriver is, well, trust Blinds.com to take care of you like Ramsey would. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or you can let Blinds.com's professionals handle everything for you. Blinds.com offers a completely hassle-free experience. Count on them to deliver stylish window treatments from premium brands without the premium markup. You'll never have to deal with pushy salespeople in your home just to get a quote. But you can count on free shipping, free samples, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee so that you can rest easy. That's why we've recommended Blinds.com for over 10 years. Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 50% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Today's question of the day comes from Tracy in Texas.
All right, Tracy asks, my husband and I have been married for over 20 years and we have 6 children together. He is a high-functioning alcoholic and he's emotionally abusive. Last week, things escalated to the point where I had no choice but to call the police and have him arrested. I filed for divorce the next day. We make a combined $320,000 per year, but live paycheck to paycheck and have $0 in savings. Our only asset is the equity in our home. We cannot afford a divorce, and he has promised to make me pay for his arrest. I feel like I'll be forced to let him come home because I don't have any other financially realistic option. I earn 6 figures on my own, but I'm worried about how I'll feed my kids and keep the mortgage current. I know I need the 4 walls first, but I'm overwhelmed and can't do this alone.
Okay. First thing, by definition, he's not high functioning.
Right. Yeah.
He's not functioning. He might have been high functioning in the past, but not now.
Yeah.
And so, wow.
And good for you for having the courage to call on him, man. Yeah, if he got arrested, then there's some parts left out of here.
Yeah, it was no longer emotional.
It was not emotional.
It wasn't just emotional abuse if you get arrested. They don't arrest you for yelling.
Yeah, but good for you.
Good. Yeah.
So when you say we can't afford a divorce, but I earn 6 figures, Dave, tell me if I'm wrong here, but it seems to be a lot of chaos and a lot of mess here. If you earn 6 figures, you can go get a relatively nice apartment, and you can figure out the house stuff later.
Yeah.
But you can go get a place where you're safe.
Go rent a house and put the house up for sale and tell your divorce attorney that they get paid when the house sells. And they'll be happy with that because there's plenty of equity there. And if you have to scratch together a few $1,000s or something to put down a little bit of a retainer, that'll be fine. But here's a thing This is you can speak into this because it's more your area of expertise, dealing with trauma and dealing with these things. But I knew this before John came here, but now Dr. John, with his PhD in counseling, has reaffirmed this. I know that there's a high correlation between money control, extreme levels of control by the man in the house, and domestic violence, using her as a punching bag. And part of the narrative that is used there is, you can't make it without me. I'll make your life miserable. You can't survive. You can't survive. You can't survive. And after 20 years, she believes it.
Even though she can go to work and someone's going to pay her 6 figures, for her skill set over here, but she can't do it at home. That's right.
She still thinks he has power.
Right.
I'll make you pay.
Yeah.
To which John and I are almost chuckling to ourselves because this is a guy who's so out of control. He's in jail. He ain't going to make anybody pay.
Right.
He's not exactly a threat. He's what's known as a bully that got punched in the nose, and most of them are absolute wusses. Mm-hmm. Once you punch a bully really hard, they just sit down and cry and moan, and that's what this guy is.
Yeah.
He's a coward.
Yeah.
And so, because his only chance of upping someone is his wife. This is a coward. And so he's not as big a threat, darling, as your psyche, which has been reconditioned over 20 years, tells you. Yeah. Agreed?
100%. So,
I'm seeing domestic violence language in this. Am I wrong?
All over this,
okay.
Yeah. And sometimes it's even hard to write that down. It's hard to write it down.
Yeah.
You earn 6 figures. Go get yourself. And by the way, your life, your standard of living will change dramatically. You're going to have to let that go. Go get a small house, the smallest houses you can afford with 6 kids. And it's not going to be fancy. It's going to have Formica countertops and all. Who cares? You're going to have safety in your home for the first time in 20 years. And yeah, tell your attorney that you get paid when the house sells, and he's going to have a highfalutin attorney. Also,
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have any money. Nobody's got any money.
well, that's true. Yeah, he didn't have any cash either.
He's in exactly the same place she's in.
That's a good point. You're right.
going to make you pay. Where are you getting the attorney's fees, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that he's as broke as she is. So they got a lot of equity. That's it, and they got a good income. That's it. So what I'm going to do is start. I'm going to get out of the house and park in something cheap and get the house sold with a court order with the attorney as soon as possible.
Yep.
Like, I mean, fast, like blindingly fast. Not even as a part of the divorce settlement. Just the money's paid into the court until the divorce is settled.
Love it.
And then let the attorneys get paid out of that, and then just make sure that they don't keep it there for 5 years and they're the only ones getting the money.
Right.
Okay? But Bubba has got no power here.
Yeah.
He's the only power, Tracy, that this guy has, he has no financial power. He has no emotional, spiritual, physical power. The only power he has is between your ears. And if you quit, the day you quit letting him live there rent-free is the day this whole thing turns over fast. Because John and I we're not intimidated by him, and we can see real clearly exactly how this is going to go down, and you're going to come out of this just fine, other than the healing that you're going to go through from the years of calling this a high-functioning alcoholic, when in reality he hadn't been high-functioning, if he ever was, in a long, long time.
And I want to speak to this. If this happens to be Tracy or anybody else listening, I remember always getting a pat on the back in my annual review because I was in charge of a lot of revenue and expense accounts, multiple millions of dollars, and we always came in under budget. That was like a thing I was known for. I always going to land underneath that. And my household finances were a mess. And I always felt a ton of shame that I could do it so well over here, but when I got here, I wasn't a person of discipline, I didn't have any self-control or anything like that. And so if this is you, Tracy, you're good at work, you make 6 figures, but at home everything feels chaotic. You have to do the brave, scary, hard thing and ask for help. You got to ask for help. That's what FPU's for. That's what EveryDollar's for. That's what our financial coach is here for. That's what your neighbor down the street is for. That's what your minister's for. You got to ask for help and say, okay, I am great at work here so much that they pay me 6 figures. How do you make a checking account on your own? How do you do some of these basic things that you quote unquote should know, but you don't know how to do it? Okay, let's go get the help we need to do.
Yeah, and talk to your boss at work. If you're making 6 figures, you may need a $10,000 advance on pay to get the new place deposits and all, and to get a little bit for an attorney to get started. But can't afford. I feel like I will be forced to let him come home. No.
Nope.
I thought I saw that in there. Let me go back to that. He wants you to feel that way. There's nothing in the law that says that. There's nothing. I mean, you need to get a restraining order, and, you need to make him pay for inflicting this on you and 6 kids. Yeah. And it's not a matter of vengeance. It's a matter of boundaries.
It's a matter of safety.
And safety. And no. Come home. By the way, he could come home, but it might be in an empty house because you moved to a rental.
Right.
And the house he's living in is up for sale by court order.
Yeah.
And that's where I want this thing to go as fast as possible.
And what about the kids? And what about the kids? Let me tell you.
The only way the kids are going to be okay is when you are.
That's right. That's right. Having a dragon living inside your house is infinitely less safe than them having to move in the middle of a school year or in the summertime or whatever.
Yeah, the dragon does not get to come home.
Correct. Yeah.
Nope. Sorry, dragon. We discovered you're a dragon. Who knew? Now you can't live there.
Ugh, what a mess.
Yeah, it's like,
It's amazing.
We thought you were a pet dragon. Well, it turns out you're a dragon.
It's amazing, Dave. You said it. It's you can be so in control over here, and somebody just beat you down for 20 years, for so long. You believe that story. The story becomes the story you tell yourself, and it's really hard to change that narrative.
Yeah,
it's tough.
So, Tracy, to use John's phrase, you are worth not being a punching bag. You are worth standing alone and creating a new life that's full of peace. And you got to go do it. Yeah. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be a lot easier than dealing with the dragon. Yeah. This is The Ramsey Show. Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Well, Ramsey events are in full swing around here. We had a great event here last weekend with the Total Money Makeover Weekend. It was one of the most fun events I've had in a long, long time. I thoroughly loved it. It was old school TMMO stuff, man, and it was a blast. Our upcoming Money and Marriage event with Rachel Cruz and Dr. John Deloney sitting beside me just sold out. And it's in October, so it's done. Next week, we have our brand, and that means you got FOMO, so get ready. Next week, we got a brand new virtual event, and the good news is there is no seating limitations when you're doing things virtually. So unlimited number of living rooms out there to watch this in. Dave Ramsey's Investing Essentials. On 2 nights, I will be doing not the same thing. Each night is individual. The second night, I'll give you a hint, is mainly real estate. And I'm going to open up my personal playbook of how I personally invest and the processes I use, the principles I use, the actual things I put money in, and the people that I run around with, many of which have $100 million net worth or greater. What are they really doing? Not what your broke TikTok influencer living in his mother's basement is doing. But we're going to actually show you like real people, real rich people, and what they really do. And it's not flip this house. I'll just go ahead and give you a hint ahead of time. So, yeah. So anyway, it's going to be fun, and it's actually sold like crazy. Like a bazillion of you have already bought tickets. Thank you. 2-night virtual event, May 21, 22, which makes it next week. It's $199. Get your tickets to that, RamseySolutions.com/events. And the cruise is almost sold out for next March, the Ramsey Cruise. It's March 22nd through 29th next year. It's all the Ramsey personalities, plus a bunch of celebrities going to be on there with us. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's the Live Like No One Else. So if you're baby step 4 or beyond and you want to come, we'd love to have you. We don't want you spending money on a cruise when you're getting out of debt and building your emergency fund. That's wrong. So don't do that. That's why it's called the Live Like No One Else Cruise, so that later you can live and give like, it's the later part, live and give like no one else cruise. So but it's going to be a lot of fun, and there's a handful of suites left, rooms. I think the suites are all gone. But I think it's like 80% sold out right now, and it's only been up for like 4 weeks. So,
and I heard that you've challenged the boat to a cannonball competition in the big pool. I'm excited about that. Joe Levitt told me that you're going to be leading the way. It's going to be awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He said you have a big onesie swimsuit that you're...
So the Speedo rumor went away. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
That got,
they got nixed.
They took a company vote.
But not doing any of the above.
But your big onesie...
None of the above.
It's going to be awesome.
None of the above.
I can't wait.
I don't know where these people are hanging out together and what they're ingesting while they're having these discussions, but not doing it. Gummy bear breath. Not doing it. Just saying. Not happening.
Not those kind of gummies.
All right. Erica is in Kansas City. Hi, Erica. What's up?
Hi. I was wondering, where does a big home renovation project fit into baby steps? Would it be like baby step 3B?
Could be. It could be 4, 5, 6. Probably 4, 5, 6, something like that. How large a project you want to do?
Yeah, we have a house that is it's kind of like a 2.5 bedroom house, and we need more bedrooms for our kids as they are getting bigger.
Okay. Why don't you sell it and buy one?
Well, we have land, and land prices have almost quadrupled here.
So you like the
here,
land, you like the piece of ground you're on?
Yes.
Okay. And how many acres have you got?
30.
Oh, that's nice. Very cool. Okay. And what's the square footage of the 2.5?
It is 1,800 square feet.
How old is it?
Over 100.
Okay. Is there any historical value or family value to that particular house?
No, none at all.
Push it down.
Push it down?
Yeah. Be a lot easier. I've done probably, 500 renovations. Renovating something that's 100 years old is my idea of hell. They don't build them like they used to. Thank God. We build so much better house nowadays. The pipes are bad. The wiring's bad. The roof is bad. The lumber that was put in there was rough sawn. It's twisted like a turkey's toe. And, oh, God, no. It's all. But when you get done with this, you're just going to have a 100-year-old house that's been patched up again. That's how you end up with 2.5 bedrooms. We call them country-built houses. People just keep adding crap to it, and it just looks like a labyrinth to get through it. And they just keep adding another room out there and add another room out there. And so I would consider that. Now, so you'd build a 3,000. What's your household income?
110,000.
Good. Okay. So you could just get a construction loan, move into an apartment for a year, or move into a rental, or get an old $5,000 trailer and put on the property while you build, and live in that crappy thing and while you build the house, whichever. I don't care. And then build a house. That's what I would do. You do whatever you want. But if you're going to spend about the same amount of money, a lot more trouble, and end up with a substandard product if you renovate. So, but go ahead and renovate if that's the game. If y'all want to do that, you're talking about spending a couple of $100,000, though, aren't you?
This particular project, we are thinking under 75,000.
What are you doing?
There is an attic space, and it would be making it livable.
Had somebody look at the structure? Doesn't fall into the basement?
We don't have a basement. We have spoken with an engineer.
And it'll hold it?
With some reinforcements, yes.
Here we go.
Okay. All right. I rest my case. But the defense rests. But yeah. Yeah. If that's what you guys want to do. But I would do that to answer your original question, 4, 5, and 6.
So would you pay off the mortgage before you did something like that?
No, I'm fine. It's 4, 5, 6. I mean, if you come up, you make $75,000 in cash, renovation. You want to buy something that's $75,000 in cash. You want to do that before you pay off your mortgage. That's a 4, 5, 6. Baby step 4 is 15% of your income into retirement. 5 is kids' college. 6 is we pay off the house early. You're going to reduce how fast you pay off the house in order to come up with $75,000 cash in order to do this renovation. I personally think the whole financial transaction would also be easier if you took out a construction loan to build a house where that one was, and made that your new mortgage on a 15-year fixed. And when you move into it, you've got a solid product. And that's the direction I would go. And it's just then all of that's sitting at baby step 6. You're just going to pay off the house. So the renovation is rolled into the mortgage the way I'm talking about, because it becomes a new house. And I think you'll end up with, you're probably going to end up with more of a mortgage than you're going your way. Well, I know you will because I'm pushing down your house. So, but you're going to be like $100,000 glad you did. So,
I think you need to watch more HGTV, Dave. You don't have the vision. All she needs is $150,000 in engineering.
Have you really? I never watched that, but I was actually in a waiting room the other day, and they had that thing on, and I was trapped, and I couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
the people that are doing that stuff are the most unusual humans. Have you noticed? It looks like something out of a zoo. It looks like a Star Trek bar, a Star Wars bar that's going to do a house renovation. I mean, there's no like regular rednecks going in there and just renovating.
That would be no. Chip and Joanna did that.
Well, Chip and Joanna are pretty normal.
Yeah.
I think.
That's your move, dude. Redneck Renovations.
From what I've heard, but the rest, I mean, the
Redneck Renovations. You'd be a billionaire.
Yeah. Ooh.
I think we're onto something, Dave.
Except that I don't want to do it.
You just push the house over every time. That'd be hilarious.
That's it. Dave, just how are we going to fix this bedroom, Dave? Push it over.
Knock it over.
This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
So the guys in the booth have already launched the Redneck Renovations show during the break.
Hey, here's what it is. It's a call-in show where people all over the country call George and Camel and Ken Coleman and ask them plumbing and electrical and renovation questions.
Two of the most inept people that could possibly ever answer those questions on the planet.
So great.
There's nothing redneck about that. That's just inept.
No, it'd be so fun.
It would be incompetent, but it wouldn't be redneck. That's not fun. Okay.
Dude, Redneck Renovations.
This is going nowhere. Matt and Dana in Omaha, Nebraska. Hey, guys, how are you?
Not too bad, Dave. Thanks for taking our call.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, I'm a farmer out here and got kind of hooked up with you because I was sick and tired of my terrible financial decisions for years and years and years and years. And my wife and I have downloaded the EveryDollar app, and I think I'm going to purchase the premium tomorrow. And one of the questions that I have is my 17-year-old daughter, Dana, who's on the phone with me now, we were talking about just college, and we don't have a college savings at all for her. She's a junior, just finished her junior year today. And she's like, I got to build credit. And I instantly was like, nope, you need to get in touch with Dave Ramsey. So as my wife and I begin this journey of we don't have a horrendous amount of debt, the biggest thing that we need to do is control our money. So where I know where it's going. So that's the journey we are on. And I don't want my daughter to make the same mistakes that I did.
Okay. Well, that would be every parent. That's a good parent anyway. So when a 17-year-old, and she's on the phone, what's her name?
Dana.
Dana, okay. So when Dana says, I want to build my credit, 2 years ago you would have thought, oh, that's probably a good idea.
Probably.
Yeah, and now you're like going, oh, God, Dave Ramsey!
Exactly. That is exactly what I'm doing. And
here's the thing. So Dana, what happened is this: the Bible says, "Be not conformed to this world." Don't be like everyone else, because if you look at the statistics of average in America today, what you find is the average divorce is caused by money fights and money problems and money stresses. If you look at the statistics, 70% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. If you look at the statistics, people who chase the credit and debt game spend their lives earning money for other people and giving it to them in the form of debt payments. And
That's your dad.
I'm sorry?
That's her dad right there.
Yeah. And so it's everybody. I mean, it's normal. So that's why we say don't be normal. Don't be conformed to this world. If what this world is doing isn't working, why would you want to be one of them? You want to be weird. If normal is losing, we want to be successful, we want to win, then we don't want to be normal. If the group of friends you're running around with are going nowhere, then guess what? You're going to go nowhere because you're hanging out with them, embracing the same set of habits, patterns, and behaviors that they embraced. Reading the same books, which are useless, watching the same useless movies, and Netflix garbage. And so, if that's what you want to be, if you want to be normal, yes, go build your credit score. But normal's broke, and normal's stressed. And so I think you don't want to be normal. I think you've been lied to by a normal culture that told you have to have a credit score in order to become prosperous and successful. And the truth is, the actual data tells us that it's the opposite of that. And so that's, where we are. Then the second part of the equation is, how am I going to go to college? Because mom and dad hadn't saved for college. And the guy, you're lucky because the guy sitting beside me has a PhD in higher education and has served in several different universities in the leadership team in the administration of several universities around the nation, and actually knows exactly what the college scene looks like. And before I pitch to him, I will tell you that you don't have to go into debt to go to college. You do have to select a college you can afford. And there is no difference between the data. Again, why are we going to college? We're going to college to become more successful and to have a better quality life with the knowledge that we get. It's not actually the degree that matters, it's the knowledge. And so we want to go get knowledge. And the truth is that you can pay $100,000 a year for the knowledge, or you can pay $12,000 a year for the knowledge. And the knowledge is basically the same. So you can get a degree in marketing for $100,000 a year at most expensive universities in the nation, or you can go to a state university and pay $12,000 a year and get a degree in marketing. And it's basically the same information. And there's no data that says where you went to school caused you to be successful. There is data that says when you have more knowledge, you have a higher probability of being successful. Knowledge that's useful in the marketplace, like a marketing degree or whatever, that kind of thing. So I would tell you that if you select an inexpensive school, you're going to get a great education, and you're going to work while you're in school, and that's going to give you a great education. I did. John did. Most people do. And then you can come out with no student loan debt. And probably your mom and dad, since they're getting their crap together, are going to be able to help a little. John, what would you say?
Well, I would say, Dana, so what do you think about all that?
Yeah, okay. So my plan was to attend like a community college and not a university.
Great. Brilliant.
Because it's just, I've been told a lot the university is just not worth it. And so. Well,
that's not true. It is sometimes, but not always. It depends on what you want to do and when you want to do it and how you want to do it and all that. But if you've decided you can meet your short-term and long-term goals right now starting at community college, amazing. Go for it.
That's the best. That's the best deal on the market.
Great.
For the first couple of years, right?
Yeah.
I think we just lost them.
Oh, we just lost them. Well, and so Dave, while we're here, here's the thing. Mike Rowe, the three of us have talked about it. It's there's a both and to this. There is a no one needs to go to college. It's so stupid. Well, that's not true.
That's not true.
I do not want to go to a doctor that didn't go to college. I don't want an engineer building my house that didn't go to college. And does everyone have to go? No, they don't. Or does everyone have to go to Does everyone have to go to Harvard? No, God no. So some of the most amazing people I know started in community college, and I had law student graduates that started in.
Okay, they're back on. Okay, Dana, we're back with you, I think.
In community college. All right, Dan.
Wait, there we go.
There you go.
We somehow the call dropped. Sorry about that. All right, Dana, we're back with you. So you're talking about 2 years in community college and then maybe move off to university to finish, it sounds like. What are you talking about studying?
No, I'll do probably 4 years at a community college and not move on to a university.
And a degree in what?
I'm going into nursing.
Okay.
Beautiful.
And that's great.
Genius.
That's wonderful. And then you got to go to nursing school, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you got to pass your boards. But nursing is probably one of the best career choices you can do out there, because there's ever since I'm old, and ever since I've been doing this like 40 years, there's been a shortage of nurses. There's always a shortage. And so you can kind of pick and choose where you work, and they'll pay you a lot, and you can always get as much overtime as you want.
Yeah.
And when your dad gets some weird itch from working on the farm, he's going to call you, and you can help him. And it'll be right.
He gets a rash that's
He'll get a weird
undescribable.
rash from the
Already
tractor.
happening.
It's already happening. Ew, Matt, come on. But Dana, listen. Everyone in your world is telling you the only thing that matters is the car you drive, is your FICO score, is all this. It's nonsense, man. It's just nonsense. And I know it's hard when you're 17 to have 3 knuckleheaded old men telling you to do something else. But if you're at this weird crossroads, and you can take a left or you can take a right, and one of these paths is going to be like, just like Dave said, everybody else. And if you look around, everybody's broke. Or you can go right, and you can go the other direction.
Matt, can y'all chip in
Just
and
do
help her
things
pay
different.
for community college?
I'm hoping.
Okay. Well, she's only a junior. I mean, you're just now started getting your stuff straightened out. I think you can. I think you're going to be there. Because you said you didn't have a lot of debt. You were just chaotic, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Excellent.
So, yeah, I think I'm making that as a part of the thing. Now, I will tell you, Dana, that if you're my kid, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to pay for part of your school if you turn around over here and doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Like going into debt or something, okay? So I'm not going to assist you in harming yourself if I'm your dad. But if he can be a part of the solution, since you're being very wise about where you're going to school, I think he should, if he can be.
I think it'd be fantastic.
That's perfect. Hey, good call, guys. Thanks for letting us preach at your 17-year-old. This is The Ramsey Show. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Kim is in Atlanta. Hi, Kim. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and John. Thank you so much for taking my call. I watch you guys all the time, and I love you guys.
Well, thank you.
I have a mortgage question for you.
All right.
I'm 63, and I want to pay off my mortgage like you always talk about, but I have a 401k, and I have investments, but do I take that out and cash it in, some of it, to pay off the mortgage, or do I just continue to try to pay over?
What's your mortgage balance?
It's $100K.
Okay, and how much in your non-retirement investments?
127.
Okay. And you have an emergency fund instead of that?
I've got like 10,000.
Okay. And how much in your 401k?
500 plus.
Okay.
I wish it was more, but it's not. And I'm 63.
Are you still working?
Yes.
What do you earn?
About 97 a year.
Good for you. What's your career plan on how long you gonna work?
I want to retire instantly. Well, I also have a booth in an antique mall.
Okay.
So
But I mean,
I still
how long do you plan on making 93 and adding to the 500?
A couple years, I guess.
Okay, 65.
They keep downsizing.
You're thinking 65. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
if they don't downsize me out.
Okay. So if you have an emergency fund proper, and which you do, and you take $100,000 out of your non-401k money, you should have virtually no taxes on it. There may be some capital gains depending on how that's structured, okay? And you pay off your home mortgage. That leaves you basically with $500,000. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At 63. If you add nothing to that and it's invested in good mutual funds averaging 10%, it'll be worth $1 million when you're 70.
It's ultra conservative right now, so
Why?
I guess I need to rethink it because I was scared. I was like, well, everybody's losing money, so I'm.
Who's everybody?
I've made a killing this past year.
Did you?
In a
Well,
regular
I need
mutual
to correct
funds.
Mine then.
Nothing
you,
fancy.
you need to get with a good SmartVestor Pro and have this adequately invested. I don't want you taking a bunch of risks.
Get off the news.
But
Right.
you get off the news and quit and don't listen to everybody. They're a bad financial planning firm. Yeah, let's do that. And so again, if you don't add anything to it, and you're going to add 2 years more of 401k contributions to it, is what our plan is today, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not counting that 2 years that you're going to add to it, which is going to be another 50,000 or so, give or take. Then which you could easily do if you don't have a house payment, right? So load that 401k up for the next 2 years, and then count on it doubling about every 7 years, the lump sum, if it's invested in good mutual funds averaging 10% plus. Okay, so again, $500,000 at 63 becomes $1 million at 70. At 77 is $2 million, and that's if you're not cashing it out to live on, and I don't think you will be. So I think you're in good shape, because I think you'll probably create enough antique mall income to eat on and be leaving this alone and letting it grow. And the house is worth what?
About $350.
Okay. So you're about an eyelash away from already having $1 million net worth. Way to go.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you for your advice. I was wondering, should I just continue to try to, pay on the principal, or should I take the money out and just go ahead and go for it?
I would go for it. And then the thing that I think that'll do is it'll probably do two things. Number one is I want you to start investing that old house payment immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So you got more investments to offset. We're not trying to increase your monthly cash flow. We're trying to, use the money that would have been going to a bank. Let's put it into your account now. The second thing is, and this will be weird, but you can look back and write it down and look back 5 years from now, see if it really happened. I think that if they try to right size or downsize you, you'll make a completely different decision or have a different discussion in the negotiation with them if your house is paid off than if it's not.
True.
It puts a little swagger in there to where you go, you're gonna lay me off, and I'm 63. You better get ready to write some checks, boys and girls. I mean, and you can toy with them a little bit, right? But if you kind of got a house payment hovering in the background, you're a little bit more mild, a little bit meeker.
Do you have is it gut feel, or is there some sort of matrix? Because I think about my mom, who's in her 70s. If she was to call with that same question, there's a balance between, I want you to have the least amount of risk exposure, so don't have a house payment, versus you're going to have to pay bills ongoing. So how much money, right? See what I'm saying? There's a balance there.
If she had $100,000 to her name, I wouldn't do it.
Okay. So you wouldn't wipe yourself out?
Not at 66, not at 63.
Is it $250,000 okay? Is it $500,000?
Yeah, I want some kind of a substantial nest egg, depending on her situation sitting
Would you
there.
use 4% draw to, would you make up a number?
No, I don't use any 4% draw. But I'm just saying, is there, based on the standard of living that this person's living in, what's their nest egg look like after we pay off the house?
Okay.
Now, if they're used to making $40,000 a year, and the mortgage is $40,000, that's a different standard of living than she's living.
Correct.
Okay, she's in a $500,000 house, or $500,000 in savings, $350,000 house, and she's making $100K. Okay, so I'm basing all of those things in there, and I'm saying, all right, what's a person like that need in a nest egg to be pretty comfortable after we pay off the house? Well, she's going to have $500,000 left.
She'll be fine.
So she's fine.
Right.
If she had 400, she'd be fine. She had 300, she'd probably be fine.
Okay.
But if it gets down in there and she's at 200 is all that's left, I'm kind of on the bubble at that point with her. Now, if you're making 40 and you're paying off $40,000 house, you got 200 left. That's a lot.
That's right. Okay.
So it's that's the ratio kind of thing I'm looking at.
Okay.
Is the way I'm pulling that through. But and
I always feel it's underappreciated on either side. I want to tell a 70-year-old, dude, if you don't have a house payment, don't have a house payment, because no one can take it from you.
Right. You want to get there.
And then on the other side of it is don't melt everything.
Because if you melt everything, you're one of those people that's house poor.
Right.
And you're digging up the bushes to eat.
There you go.
But you got nothing to eat. Yeah. But you got to pay for a house. Right. And we don't want to get you there.
Or you're completely 100% leveraged with Social Security, which That's wobbly, right? That's real wobbly.
Well, I mean, it's just not enough. You have to buy Alpo to eat. And so, we don't want to get there either. But she's done a really good job. She's in really good shape.
Oh, yeah.
Kim's done
good job, Kim.
So well done. Salute. This is how you do it, boys and girls. So here's the thing. That's the stuff you want to aim at. Because when you're 60, and she's 63, I'm 63, if your home is paid for, your largest line item in your budget is taken care of for the rest of your life. The expense is limited to taxes and insurance for the rest of your life. Versus if you're a renter, it goes up every year for the rest of your life. Or if you got a house payment, you got a house payment every year for the rest of your life. So this is where we want to get away from, is this rest of your life stuff that's not good. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thanks for joining us. Listen, no one wins at anything by accident. Winning is a series of incremental, intentional acts. If you want to get your body in good physical condition, it's a series of incremental acts, and none of them involve a Big Mac, right? I mean, we know what we know that we know, right? If you want to have a good marriage, it involves flowers. There's a series of incremental positive acts. It involves other things, a lot more important than flowers, but it even involves flowers. My wife, who detests flowers, money being spent on flowers because it's a complete waste, still smiles every time she gets the complete waste delivered to her front door. Okay, so shut up about it. But there we go. I mean, there's a series of, and money's no different. If you're going to win with money, we know that the people that win with money are the people that tell the money what to do instead of wondering where it went. They have what's known as a plan. They don't accidentally win. That's why the lottery is such false hope and why it makes me so angry, not from a moral standpoint, but when I know that 80-something% of the tickets on the lottery are bought from poor end-of-town zip codes, and that's people that have been sold false hope by their government. And in Tennessee, that money's used to send rich people's kids to college, which I think is just a wonderful wealth transfer from poor people to rich people. Take money from poor people and send rich people's kids to college and call it the lotto, and everybody's happy. That's what we did in Tennessee.
It's gross.
It's what they did in Georgia. So it's how bass-ackwards the whole idea is. So, but winning with money is a series of incremental acts that are intentional with the money, and that's a budget. You got to write it down. You got to tell your money what to do. You got to give every dollar an assignment and then make it freaking behave. Get a whip and a chair and crack the whip. You are a money tamer, like a lion tamer, if you remember the old cartoons. Right? And we're going to make them get up on the little podium, the whole thing, make PETA mad. We're going to do every bit of that, right? And so make the animal behave. Make the money behave. You are a money tamer. That's your budget. Give every dollar a name. That's why we named the world's best budgeting app when we started building it several years ago, EveryDollar. Now, EveryDollar also is incrementally better. It gets incrementally better every month. And we're adding features to it. We're adding things to it that make it better and better and better and better and better. It is the world's best budgeting app. Tens of millions of people manage their money on this. And if you want to download EveryDollar for free in the App Store, you can. And then you should actually use it after you download it. Downloading it doesn't count. It doesn't work by osmosis. You got to open it up, put your stuff in it, sit down with your spouse, and make it behave. Use the App Store, use the Google Play, or go to everydollar.com and get started for free. This is the Ramsey Show. Kendall is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Kendall. Welcome to the show. How can we help?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. So my husband wants to go back to PA school, which is going to be like $100,000. So I'm kind of just trying to figure out, like, I've just finished saving up our emergency fund and was kind of like getting ready to start paying down some of the debt that we have. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, how to best prepare for these student loans we're going to have to take out. Like, you know, do I just keep trying to save as much as I can? He's also going to have to leave his job in order to go back to school. So we'll go down to one income. So just trying to figure out how to best prepare for that.
Well, you're kind of new to this Ramsey stuff, and he obviously doesn't even care about this Ramsey stuff. So let's back up about 53 steps for a second here. What's your household income today?
$110,000.
And what does he do today?
He's an athletic trainer, sports medicine.
For what?
Athletic trainer for sports medicine.
Oh, okay. All right. And what does he make?
$50,000.
Okay. And so you make 50 and some change, right?
Yeah, I make about 60. I make a little bit more.
And what do you do?
I'm also an athletic trainer.
That was a great flex. I mean, I make 60. I make a little bit more. Well done.
Yeah. An athletic trainer that flexes. There we go. So that's perfect. Bada boom. And so how much debt have we got?
So we have we owe $255,000 on the house. I have 20 in student loans, and then we owe $5,000 on our cars.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's what I would tell you, and the thing is this: the way I answer questions is, what's going to put you guys in the best possible position in every part of your life 10 years from now and 20 years from now, not 10 months from now.
Right.
Okay, I really don't give a crap about 10 months from now. If you're completely uncomfortable and you hate me 10 months from now, that's perfect. Okay? But if that makes you completely the best place you've ever been in your life 10 years from now, in other words, it's much like training. You're going to have some discomfort in order to build some muscle. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
The tearing and the lactic acid and so forth. Am I onto something there?
Yeah.
Yeah, my metaphor is working is all I'm saying. And so, so what I would say is being a PA is an excellent career choice. Completely endorse his dream. There's not a chance in the heavens that I would go into debt to do it. No way. Oh, I'm not kidding. It's not a laughing matter. I really wouldn't.
Yeah.
The best life you could have is for him to become a PA and figure out a way, if you'll listen for a minute, that we don't go into debt to do it. The first step is to pay off the debt that you have. The second step is to build an emergency fund. And then the third step is while he's looking for scholarships and while he's applying for grants and while he's talking to his employer who might need a PA, he's talking to some hospitals in the area who would hire him immediately as a PA, might even put him on now as an on-staff sports trainer, and they might have a scholarship program for employees. Who knows? There's lots of ways to get people to pay for your education.
Mm-hmm.
And or save some of it after you don't have $25,000 in debt. That delays him starting PA school. But it doesn't delay it a decade. It delays it 2 years. Or a year, depending on how many scholarships he can find and grants he can find. But the chances I'm going to tell you to sign up for $100,000 worth of hell called student loan debt is zero.
Right.
That's zero. I love you too much to want you to do that. I don't want that for you. That's living a dream in such a way that you turn it into a nightmare.
So you're saying try to save up as much as possible prior to him going, and then
pay cash.
Try and see where we can get the grants and some employment help.
Yep, and or future employment. Who's going to hire him in the future? Listen, there's such a shortage right now. People want PAs, and PA is such a solid degree field that you can get some help. It's there, believe me. We work in this stuff every day. And oh, by the way, where you become a PA, which school he goes to, does not matter.
Right.
The percentage of people that walk into your office when a PA and ask you where you went to school before you touch my body is zero. It's zero. How many people ask where you went to school before you did sports medicine, before you stretched them? 0. None.
Yeah.
They don't care about your dadgum little fancy school title. All they care about is, do you know your stuff?
Right. Yeah.
I'm old. I've been to doctors my whole life, never asked one where they went to school. John, what's the range on PA schools? John's got a PhD in higher ed. I mean, you don't have to spend $100,000, do you?
Conceivably, no. You can. There's a million different schools. Does he already have one in mind?
Yeah, so we're trying to do a local one. You know, we don't want to relocate.
Okay.
So there's like 3 or 4 he can apply to.
Okay.
And they kind of range from like 80 to 110,000.
There you go. So you've already knocked off $20,000, which in y'all's life is a year of your life of saving money, right?
Yeah.
So find the 81, and like Dave said, go beat the streets. Maybe he goes to a community college and gets a nursing certificate first, and then they'll help pay for the transition from nursing school to PA school. There's all different other avenues you can take to get here, but Dave's right.
Once you decide you're not going to borrow money and do it the stupid way, all of a sudden some of the smart ways start sticking out in front of you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, scratch around and do this right, kiddo. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is our co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. We invite you to drop by and see us here at Ramsey. We are about 12 miles south of Nashville in a little town called Franklin, which is absolutely fabulous. And lots of people come by the Ramsey Solutions headquarters. There's a big lobby where you can have some homemade cookies and coffee at our expense. We love treating you. We like having you come in here and it smells like Mama's Kitchen, not corporate America. And we want you to go through and see the stuff and hang out. And we do the show on the glass from 1 to 4 every day, Central Time, Monday through Friday, and you're welcome to drop in. Dr. John does his show on the glass in the mornings a couple times a week. Ken Coleman a couple times a week. Smart Money Happy Hour is not done on the glass because they're out of control, and we don't know what they're going to do next. But also in this lobby, we built a little thing right here on the glass. We call it the debt-free stage, which is where you stand to tell us your debt-free story and do your debt-free scream. On that stage is John and Sarah. Hey, John, how you guys doing?
Better than we deserve.
Cool. Where do y'all live?
We live up by Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh, very fun. Well, welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have y'all paid?
We paid off just about $102,000.
Mm-hmm. And how long did that take?
All told, about
6 years.
Yep, 6 years and 2 months.
6 years, all right. And your range of income during that 6 years?
We started out right around $45,000. With a little freelance, we got up to about 140 and kind of settled back down at 125.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I am a brand and communications team lead at an IT services company.
And I do prep at a coffee shop.
Excellent. Very cool. What kind of debt was the $102,000?
It was a credit card, a couple of loans from family, and our mortgage.
You paid off your house!
We did.
Heck yeah.
Wow! Looking at a couple of weirdos.
Yep.
Way to go, you two. So proud of you. Very, very well done. So, good job, man. Good job. So, what started this whole Ramsey walk 6 years ago?
Well, I had been familiar with Dave Ramsey like 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We actually saw the book in a bookstore, and we're like, we should do that, but we don't know if we have enough money to pay for the book.
We didn't feel like we could afford the book. So we kind of had a general sense of what Dave Ramsey was all about and paying off debt and those things, but weren't really on board at that point, and kind of were normal. We were living, paying all of our bills on credit cards, and then thought we were being responsible by paying the credit card off every month. of course, that is easier said than done, and inevitably you get to the end of the month, and I was always concerned about, do we have enough money in the account to pay off the card? And towards the end of the year, often there wasn't enough, so we'd find ourselves carrying a balance and hope for a big tax refund to cover the difference and wipe the slate clean. So this was really caused a lot of anxiety. You know, it was I never felt comfortable, never felt like we were getting ahead.
Because you weren't.
We weren't. And we didn't have a budget. And I tried several times to figure out the whole budgeting thing on my own, but it was just a little too much for me to figure out on my own. So fast forward to about 2017, we had been living this way, and I kind of just got to the point where I felt like I'm tired of feeling anxious and unsure all the time. Decided to look back into the budgeting thing, and ended up doing a bunch of Google searching and finding the Dave Ramsey show again. So I started binging the show and listening to other people's debt-free screams. And you happen to have the $10 sale going on.
Now he can afford the book.
So now I could afford the book. So
I love it.
I bought the Total Money Makeover. I read it, told Sarah, I think we really need to do this for my sanity at least, but I think for our future as well. And
I said, fine, I'll read the book. And then I read the book and I said, I guess we can try it. Let's go. And
yeah, so she wasn't fully on board at first, but we got going and we tried the budget. And by the way, what you say about it taking 3 months to get the budget right is absolutely true. It was a total disaster.
First
the first
month was terrible.
Yeah.
Second month was pretty good. Third month was pretty good.
Yep.
And the rest is history.
There we go. So what's your home worth?
Well, according to Zillow, which I don't know if that's entirely accurate, but probably close to $250.
Way to go, you guys.
Yeah.
Wow, that's got to feel great.
Yeah.
It does.
Was it worth the struggle?
Oh, totally. I would do it 10,000 more times. I mean, I shouldn't have to at this point. But.
Right.
Yeah, amen. Amen.
Yeah, absolutely worth it.
Way to go, y'all. Way to go. Excellent. Excellent.
So what was the biggest struggle y'all had as a couple? Like, both of you are showing some hesitancy. Was it because, Sarah kept spending, or John, you always had a scam and an idea and a spreadsheet? What was it?
I think it was just we didn't have the tools. We found the EveryDollar app, and it was life-changing. And it was like, okay, it goes to both of our phones. Everything's joint. We just, we're all in. There's no excuses to not do it at that point. So.
Yeah,
good, I like it.
That was really the big unlock for me, the EveryDollar app, to be honest, because I had tried doing budgets before with spreadsheets, and I'm just not a spreadsheet guy. And the EveryDollar app made it so simple, and it laid it all out for us. And that combined with reading the Total Money Makeover finally, I felt like this finally is a plan that I can follow. I have steps that I can follow. I can be intentional and proactive, which is the total opposite of being reactive and anxious all the time. So that was the big thing.
Well, that was a sentence.
Yeah.
That was like a thesis statement right there. I like it. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Good job, you guys. All right. Both of you, what do you tell people when they say, how'd you pay off your house? What's the secret to getting out of debt?
Just put your head down. Keep on doing it. Just every single month, do the budget with the EveryDollar app, and just every single month, just like, okay, it's going to pay off in the end. And it totally does, and it's awesome. It's just crazy cool.
Yeah, I think for me, the key was the budget, and really closely related to that is being on the same page. And again, having the EveryDollar app and being able to go through the budget every month together, make a plan for our money. I had been the one handling the finances kind of on my own previously. So this was a huge change to be able to both be looking at the same numbers and understand what we're making and what's going out. And then be able to dream about it and dream together about like, what can we do now that we actually know what our money is doing? So really making the budget and being on the same page with your spouse and talking about it and having the same dream.
What's it like? I'm looking at your kids over here, and my two kids look to be about the same age as your kids. Talk about what it feels like as the world's getting chaotic, as schools are getting wonky, as, thank God, we're entering into another political season, right? What's it like knowing they're going to be all right? Like they can't take your house, right? When all is said and done, they're going to be all right.
It's very reassuring. And we're very religious people as well, so it's like, God's got this. We got this. We're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to put into words the amount of peace that brings, knowing that we don't owe a dime to anybody for anything. Mm-hmm. And it's just an amazing feeling.
Very cool. All right, bring them up. Let's hear their names and ages and introduce them.
Come on up, guys.
I want to hear this. So they've been through all this too, no doubt. They got parents that are heroes, that's for sure.
Our oldest is Jonah. He's 14. We have Silas, who's our youngest, who is 10. And we have Ella, who is our middle, and 13.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Well, welcome, you guys. Beautiful family. Proud of you, heroes. Well done. Very well done. John and Sarah. Jonah, Ella, and Silas from Green Bay, Wisconsin area. $102,000 paid off. House and everything. 6 years they did it, making $45,000 to $125,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! Woo! Love it! Way to go, you guys. That's how it's done, boys and girls. That's how it's done. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day is John 14:15. If you love me, keep my commandments. Elon Musk said, when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. John's in Seattle. Hey, John, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, good afternoon. Lovely to be here.
Good to have you, sir. How can we help?
You guys for probably the last 5-6 years. And it's taken a lot for me to come forward and reach out to you guys. I used to be I had a major spending addiction, and I had gone through counseling to recover from that during my marriage, and had just recently divorced and unfortunately relapsed in those spending habits. And I'm renting an apartment, which is quite expensive in this area, as you can imagine. And I'm sitting on top of $65,000 in debt. 3 of those are lines of credit that are in a bad status that have not been paid for probably 70 days past due. And 2 of them are in good standing, which one is direct with my current credit union, and the other is for my vehicle right now. And
what do you make?
I make about $74,000 a year, and I drive for rideshare programs in the area, and I have no savings. I had to before my divorce, I had to cash out my 401k and eat through our emergency savings that was developed because.
How long has it been since you've seen your counselor about your spending addiction?
It's been probably almost two years now.
Why haven't you gone back?
Because I did right now. I understand that the tools and the guidance that I was given. I understand that I need to pivot and turn around, which I have.
Hold on, hold on, stop. You got tools and guidance. That's cool.
Yes,
but the cornerstone of every addiction recovery program is sitting kneecap to kneecap with another person and saying, "Do you see me? And do you still love me?" And you skip that part. That's the shame part. That's the part you got to do. You can have all the tools in the world, man. You can Google how to lose weight. You got to sit with somebody. It's hard. You can Google all these other things. You're avoiding that hard part. How come? Did this divorce beat you up?
The divorce definitely was unexpected. But I guess the reason why I didn't think that I needed to go back to the counselor is because I understood that I needed to pivot immediately. When the credit lines had stopped receiving payment, that's why I decided to completely stop touching any of those things, start paying. I got myself into this employment and into this consistent income, and decided, okay, now I need to get myself caught up, make sure that I have a stable home, and start to see how I will take care of all of this debt, which again I have not touched at all since.
Okay, so let me recap just a second, and then I'll make sure we try to answer your question. Okay.
Okay.
So you had a spending addiction. You went to see a counselor, and after the divorce, you relapsed. When was the divorce?
I'm sorry. When is the divorce?
Yes, sir.
It had started last year and concluded.
Okay, so since the divorce and since the relapse on the spending, you've not seen a counselor?
No, sir.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. Okay, so, John, there's two possibilities here. And Dr. John, the data that I have seen is old, and I don't know how accurate it is today, but we have a culture that talks about every misbehavior as an addiction. And every misbehavior is not an addiction. Sometimes it's simple immaturity, lack of self-control. Those are not addictions. It's not addictive behavior. That's just other things that the general public struggles with. The last data I saw had about 2% of the public with an actual spending addiction. That's akin to an OCD type behavior.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, I hear it very, very rarely.
Yeah, it's very unusual.
It's not in the diagnostic manual.
And so that's just, there's a 12-step program called Debtors Anonymous that you can plug into that has to do with debt, and it usually is full of people that have just did not have the ability to control spending for whatever reason, and so they were labeling it addiction. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know, but that's what I had read.
The definition of addiction, if you ask me, is it's a behavior that I cannot compulsively stop, that I continue to do despite its nefarious consequences. And that's what this guy's doing here.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, and if that's the case, then if you're dealing with something that is at that level, and it's not simply stop it, you're being stupid, okay? Because addiction, stop it, you're being stupid, doesn't work. Okay, addictions, they're shame-based, and you have to meet with somebody and get a coach, get a counselor, and walk your way through it. And so that's why John's recommending that, and the fact that you've not done that is at the core. So if we're going to put you in the bucket, if you're going to put you in the bucket, or we are, that says you are an actual person who's struggling with an actual behavior-type-based addiction, then you need to see a counselor. You're not going to self-diagnose your way out of this.
No matter how much, I'm going to be honest, the language he's using is very addict language. Now, I've got it figured out. I just need to solve this. I need to move this over here, and I need to take care of this. Every person I've ever met who struggles with any sort of addiction always has a plan, and they just need to work the plan. It's all good, and it never works.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've got to get some help, dude, if that's you. If it's simply John's being a baby and John needs to straighten up and so forth, that's different. That is different than an addiction. And I can't tell, and we can't diagnose you on the phone, but you're using the language to Dr. John's point of an addict. So I would tell you that to sit down with that. Now, I did promise you that I would actually answer your question, too, rather than just sit here and diagnose you. But how can we best help you today, John, do you think?
Well, I completely understand, and I'm very open to what you guys are saying. And I take full responsibility for every one of my decisions here. No doubt. I'm very.
How can I best help you today?
Yeah, we're up against the clock.
What I'm looking for is, in parallel to that, in parallel to the help that I need to do to the addiction, is that I wanted to know from you guys on your advice on how I may best tackle my debt. I had spoken to my credit union about either taking a personal loan or they had.
Okay, you can't borrow your way out of it. Your first step is to get your income versus your monthly budget needs your income higher than your basic budget needs so that you can get current. Once you're current, then I'm going to list the debts, smallest to largest, and I'm going to pay minimum payments, staying current on the larger ones while I'm attacking the very smallest debt with a vengeance. And then, of course, you've got to remove any type of debt product from within arm's reach of you. Okay? An alcoholic can't have a bourbon collection. Okay? So you can't have a credit card collection. You can't have access to all these things. You can't do this. So, you've got to separate yourself from the access to credit lines, access to credit cards, and so forth. Make it hard to get them. Get current, then increase your income, and all you're going to be doing for a little while is work, which is actually cool. Because if you're working all the time, you haven't got time to spend. You're too tired, and you're working all the time. You're busy. You don't have time to do it. Some of the worst spending I do to this day is if I'm bored. And so it's a devil's playground. So, that's what I would do, is anything you can do that's legal and moral to increase your income, and then start chunking on there like a wild man. And if we can help you further, brother, you call us anytime. We're on your team. We love you. We want you to win. And I'm sorry you've been through everything you have. Appreciate you joining us. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.